look in the eyes of my brother.
Hey yo.
Without shedding a tear for my brother.
Hey yo. Hey yo. Hey yo. Hey yo, motherfucker. Hey yo, no homo. Welcome back to another episode of the InforMILLy Honest Motherfucker Podcast. We appreciate y'all for joining us for another week of informalities and all of that. Four brothers from the middle of the neighborhood of Gary, Indiana, and come together to talk about this thing called life. And no matter where we go, it's gonna be forthright, it's gonna be vulnerable, and we're gonna do our giggity goddamn best to be fucking honest. Fellas, how you feeling?
Feel good.
Ditto. I've been keeping it honest as a motherfucker. So this whole week.
It's swell over here. Swell.
Yeah. Believe that.
Well, not swollen.
Swelling. If you will.
What was it? It's like
How the hell you been, Josh? Hold on, man. How you been? I want to know. I personally want to know.
You want to know how I'm doing?
Yeah.
Moving on. So we go.
I like how he so eloquently told me to suck a dick without telling me to suck a dick.
Oh man. No. I'm not great. I had a rough weekend.
Right.
So I'm living inside of how should I say? I'm managing.
Surviving the times.
Yeah. It's a good way to say it.
But yeah,
Appreciate the vulnerability, man.
Oh, absolutely. Without putting nothing on the spot. Yeah, it was just a rough weekend. So it is what it is.
Sunday, first day of the week, man. You with us.
Mm-hmm.
You good.
That's why I appreciate is that I can always come back and be able to, be in good space with the homies.
Even though they didn't need to know there was a Sunday, but it is what it is.
I mean, they don't know what it is.
No, that's what's up. That's a wonder. That's a good reminder of what these kind of spaces can do, and maybe enough folks don't have spaces like this to do so. So.
Damn, I'm sure you had something real heartfelt while you were saying. I'm sure you said something. I'm sure you said something like
damn.
Sweet as that.
No. And we here, goddamn thing. What? Dang, man. Yeah, whatever I said, fuck it. Let's just move on before my shit crashes.
So apparently, Steph Curry doesn't want to live around the pores.
That should have been the fucking headline. Oh man, that's too funny.
According to a couple places, but we're gonna read it from the Huff Post. Steph Curry, one of the greatest shooters in the league right now, and probably of all time. He and the wife, Ayesha. No, it's Ayesha. I know how to pronounce her name.
You had to add her name with the geisha.
They sent a letter in to their city council or something of that nature in Atherton City, where they live 30 minutes away, only 30 minutes away from the arena of the Golden State Warriors. That there's a housing facility, 16 single-family home, one lot of single-family homes, 16 townhouses. It's about to be built right behind their living situation. And so he had to write in that he don't feel safe. And he wants to protect the privacy and the safety of his family and his kids. And apparently this is like one of the most expensive neighborhoods in the country, has been for the past 3 years. And so when they found out that they about to make some affordable housing, he was like, wait, hold on.
How much is
How affordable?
That's what I'm saying, though. That like, and that's the kicker. Like,
yeah.
So are you done with the
setup? That's pretty much it.
Okay, so like, and that's what the part, because like on one hand I'm like, okay, I get the privacy thing. Like, you know, no, he's a big time star. Yes. I definitely get that, but I can't not imagine them. Like if this area is this rich, I can't imagine they're gonna like put some like projects up there. It's not they're townhomes, and I can't imagine that much danger is going to be coming with these probably luxury townhomes, and it's like affordable probably compared to the $1 million homes. So like affordable to them is probably going to be $300,000 condos or $500,000. Like that's affordable compared to what they're living in. But I can't imagine it being like this hood like setup behind like where Steph Curry is living. I just
like Compton is not moving in.
Yeah, I can't imagine that.
Definitely not Marcy.
Although I could understand his like line of thinking, I agree with Adam. Especially you in Cali, you know, like it's not cheap to live there
at all.
Not Cali in general, but like you know
where he is, like San Francisco and Bay Area.
California is not cheap to live.
So, but I mean, I guess that's a whole nother topic. Like what he's actually bringing up about like super rich or rich people living next to like low income people, because a lot of times it's desperate people around those areas.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And, it increases the probability of stuff going down. But I think we gotta wait for the verdict of how much these
straight up
places are like. But he's supposed to have them shooters though. He's supposed to be a shooter.
Now I think my usual opinion on this is just I'm with Adam. We affordable. When I hear people say, "Oh yeah, we're building some affordable housing," I go, "Okay, who's affordable?"
Yeah,
what is it affordable? Because affordable to me is not affordable to even the average person working in and one time we were on train in New York. I saw her bank account because she was trying to move some money, and I was like, "Oh, I'm impoverished." Like, oh, that's what like dancers doing bigger shows actually make, because my bank account ain't never seen that number.
Nah, yo, that's so true, man. Well, it's so true. Not about your bank account. Not about your bank account. Oh my God, this computer. No, go ahead, Josh. I'm sorry.
I mean, both things are true. So yeah, I remember when she. Oh no, you good. I saw the area she was moving to, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And she was like, oh my God, it like doesn't even cost that much. And I was like, bitch, I need you to realize that we're in different brackets here. Like this cost that much to you.
Yeah, I mean that's true. That's something to definitely realize, because like I honestly started thinking about that situation, the Steph Curry situation, kind of with my own living situation. Like for me, like, and it's funny because a lot of times when I tell people where I live that are familiar with Darien, they kind of hesitate, like, because if you see the houses out here, they're ridiculous. Yeah. However, this apartment complex that I happen to live in it does not match. It's like it's kind of hidden in the middle, and all these nice houses around, but it's not like it's a very average apartment. But I guarantee you the people that live in these big houses out here probably look down at us apartment folks. I guarantee you they do. They come over here and use our dumpster all the time and dump. Like I remember Christmas Day, me and Kirsten was pulling up just to park, and we see this dude in this Range Rover pull up to the dumpster like real quick. He dumped all this Christmas, you know how they unwrap the presents, whatever. He threw all this, unwrapped and just sped out. I'm like, dude, really? Like, I get it. It's a dumpster, and it's like, but it just was like, it just made me feel weird though. Saying there's probably, affluent guy come here and dump all this Christmas present stuff in our, in our. It just felt weird to me. I don't know.
I feel, I'd be interested to know if it was the other way around and he was living in some luxury condo and somebody from somewhere else came and dumped it. He might have had a motherfucking hissy fit.
I say that all the time.
He has a garbage, and I'm pretty sure in many spaces, if it's a private dumpster on somebody's property, it's illegal to just dump your shit there. Technically, like people complain about that all the time. It's like, so you gotta wonder, like, come on, man. Where's the fucking respect?
Undercover cops, SWAT teams.
Yeah, it's funny because I say that all the time. Like I've seen this guy ride his bike through our through the parking lot is fine, whatever, but through like the grass to get to, because they're actually townhomes over here too. So he cut through our property, basically cut through the grass on his bike to get to his neighborhood. I'm like, really, dude? If I drove my bike through your yard, you would call the police. Like it's just
it's crazy.
It's the same idea though.
Yeah, for sure. And the funny thing is I've tried to sneak and use so many fucking dumpsters before.
I did all the time.
All the time.
And I technically, because I used to use the one like back when I lived in Gary, I used to use the apartments, Woodlake Village apartments. I used to use their dumpsters all the time. Yeah, I mean, there's so many of them. Like we only got 2 over here. There's so many of them dumpsters. And at the same time, it's just different because it feels like that dude was almost. I mean, I know he did not actually physically punch anybody, but it felt like a punching down, kind of like a looking.
A lack of respect. It's an obvious.
That's what it felt like, even though it probably wasn't. But that's just what it felt like. This dude bringing this $90,000 SUV in here, unloaded his millions of empty Christmas, like Christmas present boxes. It just felt weird. But
I know.
I don't really care at the end of the day, man.
No, it is interesting to think about this topic from your own perspective. I guess it's easy to do, but it makes it more interesting, like hearing Josh's story on the train. Because on the highway, when I used to live in Midtown, which is definitely a wealthy area, people, I'm sure that like the average corporate person is making, 6 figures for sure living there because the prices are obviously higher and shit, I just remember seeing this billboard. It's like this Georgia Tech billboard saying the average income or salary that a graduate makes from, I don't know if it's from Georgia Tech in general or from Georgia Tech Business School, it's like $136,000 a year. That's like on average. That's what you can expect, I guess. And I'm like,
after how much time though? I doubt you're getting out of college and they're making I mean, some jobs, but
people absolutely are.
That's uncommon though.
Some people absolutely are, man. And it's just like, and I'm just like, and there've been times where I stopped and pulled up, did my Face ID to pull up my account. And I'm just like, man, I need about 12 more zeros, son.
Get this. Yeah, we gotta get this segment.
Yeah, I know, man.
Yeah, you go in and out on that last part there. But I'm of the camp that less than affluent people shouldn't have to drive a half hour away to get access to same resources as more affluent people get. Because I think about 2 things. One, I used to not the last place y'all came to, before I moved into this place, I used to live 5 minutes away from Barack's house. And it was like,
first name basis.
Yo, Barry, what up?
You got invited to the Friendsgiving in the backyard? Yeah.
I wish.
All right, sorry to interrupt that.
No, you're fine. But it was a thing of I can walk to the gym. I could Whole Foods, Trader Joe's are so close. They're not far away from where I am now, but it's further away and stuff like that. And not having my rent be absurd to have access to those things because they try to, dictate the resources of every environment by its property taxes and all of that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then I even think about a slightly related subject, but like seeing newscasters like lose their whole wig when they find out like people on food stamps are buying real food.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Like that thing goes like,
they shouldn't be allowed to.
like you just really think that people who don't have money don't deserve regular shit.
Yeah.
Because you think when I was on food stamps, I wasn't out here buying tuna steaks and shit from home. Like,
I'm trying to get on them now, man. Like it's inflation is one thing, but it's crazy to see it in real time. Like when you know that you spent less money on this 2 months ago. Like I know this wasn't this high 2 months ago. Like
I know a carton of eggs wasn't $6.
Yeah. And honestly,
at this Whole Foods it is sometimes.
I'll never get eggs from Whole Foods, but
honestly though, and even at my job, even stuff that don't revolve around like food, like you just see the price of things. Like when I first started, like I knew this because I used to buy them all the time, but I knew that the cost of a battery, a DeWalt battery, just for power tools, we could get them for like $130 is which is expensive already. But now they're like $200, and it's been like I've been working there for almost 2 years. So in almost 2 years, a price of a DeWalt battery, in this particular battery, has gone up almost $70. It's like it's crazy just to see that happen in real time. Is like
absolutely,
it's crazy. It's crazy
to see people like in regular back of the hole in the wall shits selling tacos for $4. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Regular fucking taco is $4.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
That's why in schools, that's why I feel like you don't have to be a fucking businessman or some, intense about it. But at least I think every person, and I would like to for sure, learn more about how money works. Everyone doesn't have to be some millionaire, billionaire, but can just to help manage, especially during a difficult situation, save more, some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because what you're saying is crazy, man.
For real. I'm wondering, like, what about like the person Josh was talking about? What do they expect you to be buying? Like, they rather you buy Flamin' Hots. Like, they don't want you to buy real food.
Basically, like, I mean, eat Lunchables every day.
Right. The funny part about it was that inside those, because that was like a news broadcast. Like this, like one of the anchors was like, "They're out here buying lobster. Like they shouldn't be." And I was like, "Wait, what? What are you mad about?" They let them.
You can definitely buy lobster. I do feel like it could go much further if you know what I'm saying.
If you don't buy lobster, you could probably buy more things.
Of course,
it might be wiser, but
it's probably wiser to not buy lobster and steak.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
if you choose to,
yes,
that's your prerogative.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah.
Shows, like, I kind of get it a little bit, because it's like, if you're strapped for money, then you probably should either
that's what I'm saying.
Too much food stamps because you wilding out. That's find some like more necessities with that. But,
that's what I was getting at. Yeah.
But then on that same token, it's kind of like you nothing you do you can win. I'm sure there's a real phrase for that, but I can't think of it right now.
You can't win for losing or whatever that shit is.
You can't win for losing, can't lose for winning, whichever way that's supposed to be conjugated.
You can't win.
You said what?
I was singing "You Can't Win from the West."
But they'll chastise you for buying food that they don't think you're worthy of, but then they'll also ridicule you for eating nothing but junk food.
Yeah. No, yeah, I get what you mean. It's catch-22.
Yeah.
Also, another.
There you go.
Whatever you want to call it.
Something like that.
Yeah. We just it's crazy, man.
But in regards to this thing, I think I saw somewhere in the article talking about like maybe they need to build higher fences. And I don't know why in my brain I was like, maybe you niggas want a moat. Like you just
yeah, I think the higher fence thing, I mean, if you want to feel like you're living in a prison, and I mean, sure, I guess, but I just really, I mean, I don't know. I don't know everything. I just on the surface level, I just can't imagine it being that problematic. Like when it's all said and done, whenever they finish the construction and people move in, it's probably not. I don't know. I just can't imagine it being that crazy because it's not going to bring. I can't imagine it bringing, you know, I'm not saying people that are poor are dangerous, so I don't want it to sound like that. But because that's kind of how it sounds. He's saying, but but. I can't imagine like the whole, like we talked about the affordable thing and what that actually means. If this is supposedly like the richest area in the country, I think they just mean affordable for the area, not affordable like as in like public housing affordable. Right. Because they always say affordable housing in Chicago, and then they end up being, you know, apartments where they're like $2,300 to rent. I mean, that's not really
affordable to who?
Yeah.
Also, like, if it comes down to it, like, take your $1 billion and move a little bit farther somewhere on the hill or something. Yeah. I mean, I know maybe less convenient. You probably live in a convenient area, be able to go to the stadium, you know, quickly and train and whatever it may be. But hey, that's a rich people problem.
It really is. That's funny. It really is, though. He could really just move and be like, whatever, and sell that house and probably make a nice profit.
I don't blame him for not wanting to move. Just you know, like
I wouldn't want to move either.
I would, of course. Yeah, I don't blame him for not. Just because you can doesn't mean you know. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean, we're not doubting that it could be an inconvenience, but. Like, an inconvenience is not detrimental
to you.
Yeah,
no.
It's like I want to know who can even afford those apartments, those affordable. Like, I want to know who can afford that. If it's like people who are only making 6 figures, then it's like, man,
yeah, it's like
that's not the because like Adam said, we have to know what affordable means because it's not the same as someone who's actually poor, and certain behaviors come with living in survival mode. You know,
let me
that's it. Like,
let me tell you how it's not that affordable. I read townhome and went, nope.
Yeah, because they're townhomes. They're not like apartments. They're townhomes.
They're not apartments.
Yeah. I'm bad. Yeah.
No, you're good.
But no, that's not something you do apologize for. I'm going like it's in this property that's supposed to be like 3 levels. It's only 16 townhomes in a 3-level building. That's not big. Yeah. And that's not a lot.
Yeah, I wish they would have put that, like, you know, more like those details in the article, you know, like perhaps they just don't even know who their audience is or who they, you know,
who knows?
I don't know.
But all right, we're going to take a break right there and we'll be right back. Do you have an issue minding your fucking business? Did you see some random people that were maybe a shade or two darker than you minding their fucking business? Well, we want to thank our sponsor, Vitamin D's. Just take 2 vitamin D's daily, and it will help you to take care of yourself and only mind your fucking business. Thank you to our sponsors. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Vitamin D's.
Yeah. Yo, actual big nuts sold separately.
I got a couple friends. They've been taking these supplements daily, and you'll be so surprised how much they shut the fuck up now. Friend hit me up the other day. It was like, man, I was in a Burger King, and then this guy like walked past me, and I was like, okay, and it was like. He walked past me, man. I almost lost my shit. Then I remember I didn't take my vitamin D's today. And I was like, okay, so what was up with the guy? It was like, did he bump you? It was like, no, man, he was just there. Like what it looked like. You know what he looked like. And I was like, I don't know how I'm still your friend, man, but I need you to take those vitamins. So
I like how you worked through that one. I appreciate that.
I did. It bombed,
like,
but it's okay.
Not stand-up comedy. That was like your first time. That's impressive, man. I respect it. Personally, I respect it. You got my support, motherfucker. I vote for you.
There's someone listening to the podcast like, man, he's done this for way too long. Can you move on? So speaking of minding your own fucking business, a couple weeks ago now, it was 2 weeks ago now, right? Super Bowl happened, and shortly after the Super Bowl happened, the performer of the evening, Rihanna, was on the cover of British Vogue with her dude, which pretty much probably gonna be her husband or something like that. But I mean, whatever it is, her partner in crime and Chime and all those other things.
Let's say his name, the fashion icon, Mr. ASAP Rocky.
Man
keeps it fresh. Okay,
yes.
my bad.
With ASAP and their child, whose name I don't know, which is good. I don't need to know their child's name.
Terrence. Terrence. It's not Terrence, but
I was like, is it Terrence? That was crazy.
I thought you said Clarence. I was like, this guy's a gangster. His real name's Clarence.
His name's Clarence. But after they got on this Vogue cover, bitch nigga Twitter lost their fucking minds talking about this is a prime example of the emasculation of black men. Da 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 da. I saw one motherfucker they put a bunch of green line arithmetic. They started like mapping the shit out, talking about, oh, this is like the man is behind her and with the soft face kissing the child like a bitch, and then
kissing your loved ones like a bitch. Oh, your firstborn. Don't you know that makes you look like a bitch, man?
And in my world, as soon as I saw this, I was like, okay, that's cool, because he's one. ASAP Rocky is beating the fuck out of the box of one of the finest women in the entertainment industry.
This is true.
She's a literal billionaire.
Impregnating her
twice. Yeah. Twice. My nigga shot up the club twice.
As he should.
And that's twice.
No survivors.
We don't know how many. We don't know if he does that every time.
No survivors.
Probably not.
The mass vaginal murderer.
Yeah.
And yeah. So, what are your thoughts on this? Felix on it? I'll save mine for last.
When I first heard about it, I kind of not understand where they came from, but I guess it's you just got to keep in mind who it is, first of all. But when I saw the actual cover, I thought it was very tasteful.
Yo, quick question though. When you say keep in mind who it is, do you mean who's on the cover or who's talking the shit?
Yeah. I was talking about like who's on the cover. Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah. Because I feel like when you get to the level that Rihanna is at, like sources, media sources want they don't care about the people around you. You know, like nobody cares very much about Beyonce's entourage and stuff like that. Is about not that he's an entourage or like just somebody around her, because he is actually, in my opinion, like ASAP Rocky is one of the icons in hip hop and fashion, and I don't think people even realize that. Like, but once you get to her level, like, I don't think that Vogue really even wanted him to be there at all.
He probably just happened to be in the trailer. He probably just in the green room, like, well, I mean, yeah.
He probably just settled for being there, and I think it's beautiful that he was holding his child, and
absolutely.
What's he supposed to do?
It's like, I don't know, man.
It's very basic. What something to do, like off topic real quick, like, is men out here that never changed their child's diaper? I just realized through conversations and stuff that people say, like, that's like something that the woman does, and I was baffled by that. I'm like, like, you don't do, that's something very basic that any parent, no matter what, male or female, it doesn't matter what you are, that's something you do. So it just shows the spectrum of what people consider masculine or empowering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got a question for y'all too. Sorry to interrupt you, Mike.
That's all. I'm done.
Just on that quick subtopic. Like, when I moved down here, I like you said, out of just in conversations with different people, men and women, I kept hearing this idea of like the Southern. Oh my God, I can't think of the word now, but essentially, there's like there are still certain men who expect things as they were back in the day, and people have like attributed that to like Southern thinking, like old school Southern thought of like women have their. I don't know if it is specific to the South. I don't, tradition, but a lot of folks have been like making it seem like it's specific to the South. I don't understand that, but what I'm saying is it's rampant. Like, I've met a significant amount of people who do actually feel that way, that it should be that way. And it's just like, it blows my mind every time, man. It's like, that's the type of motherfucker who is probably not changing a diaper, man.
I think that what you're speaking towards is like Southern people, not all, obviously. I just want to say that, but they tend to be more conservative, and it kind of aligns with like the Bible Belt way of thought, and that they tend to be more traditional in their values, so they hold on to certain things that may not necessarily serve humanity at all.
Traditional is definitely the right way to say it.
Right.
I was like, how you summed it up was perfect.
Yeah, but, traditional gender
just
roles
blows
is
my
like
mind.
Traditionalized gender roles is like a big thing, has been a big thing, big point of conversation as far as I've seen a lot in today's society with women having such high college rates and making more money and all of that. And people talking about, that is a form of emasculation, or dudes feeling intimidated if their girl makes more money than them or stuff like that. To which I personally don't have them kind of issues. I want a girl that makes more money than me, because if we both poor, then woof.
I mean, as long as like she not a toxic person.
Yeah.
Because that's the ringer right there. Like,
now things points I do want to bring up before I turn it back over to Adam and Aaron. The article was about Rihanna.
Yeah.
So
that's what I was going to say. She's the focus.
Yeah.
So, and as a photographer, like the subject is going to be in the foreground always.
You would think,
like that's just how it, you don't even have to be a photographer to know that. It's just. I
feel like I didn't read the article, but obviously, him and her child is a big part of her life right now.
Exactly.
So it kind of made sense for him to be there in some aspect, and they had to make it look kind of cohesive. So,
and think about it, to Marcus's point earlier, you're right. I don't think British Vogue asked for ASAP and the kid to be there, but she was like, they are a very prevalent part of my life. So I want them in the shoot.
Which is totally understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like her dude, her child. Like,
yeah, it's pretty hard to argue against that. I mean, but like, oh my God. All right. Your boy is going through it, huh?
Good.
There we go. Let's hope it stays. It just like the people who are complaining is talking about like black men being emasculated. Like it just sounds like somebody who is going around looking for that shit or like see something and takes the opportunity to be like, I know that's what that is. It's like, all right, fuck it, we got to go. Yo, we're going black and white. We're going black and white right now. we're going Kubrick.
Just to bring a little opposition for a minute, like that's not to say there is people and some media sources or whatever that may actually be trying to do that.
Yeah, I believe that.
I'm saying this is not.
I just feel like they were stretching. I just feel like it's a stretch this time. Like this, just like they were trying to take an opportunity that they didn't have. Yeah, like that thought was like obvious. It's like no, if you read the article and you look a little bit more into it, it doesn't make sense.
I guess for me, a question that I've always had is because I've heard that argument or that conspiracy, I guess you can call it. Which doesn't mean I'm not saying it's true or false, I guess. I guess what would be the goal, the purpose? Like if that is indeed happening, what is the ultimate goal?
What's the goal of racism?
For me, I don't know. Trying to crack that one.
I think what people look at the goal and that they're always looking at the validation and quote unquote strength of black men has been tarnished throughout chattel slavery to now. And so we do know that there were practices that were put forth in the midst of enslavement, such as, the cutting off of genitals, the removing black men from the actual living in the home or just using them to breed beyond nothing else, the putting them in prison throughout the years and then build a narrative of black fathers aren't there as if a system hadn't been incarcerating them for little to no reason. All of those kind of things of like the disempowerment of black men. And so you grasp at straws to make it look like it's happening in more places than it could be.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
And like you could even take it back to that like what was it? They say the reason why Chappelle left the show was because he refused to put on a dress.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in that kind of thing where we can't say that we can't say like that was the reason. Chappelle said it was the reason.
Yeah.
And then people will take that narrative and they'll go, oh, it's this bigger scheme because then look at Jamie Foxx on In Living Color, and then look at Eddie Murphy and Norbit and Nutty Professor and Martin Lawrence and Big Mama's House and all these black men had to put on dresses to be validated by white Hollywood, yada da da. And the feminization of black men, like it turns into that whole thing.
Yeah, I really do feel like some people are out here, black, white, whatever, and their minds are telling them that they're like it's somebody coming or like they're at odds or all the time. And it's just not the reality all the time. Every moment of your life, it's just it sounds it gets to that point sometimes. It's like I just let people be, man.
because then you get into the other magazine cover of Jonathan Majors on Ebony magazine's cover. I don't know if y'all saw that one of him and like him in the boots with the jeans that I gotta admit I thought was one piece, and I was like, oh shit, like they making boot jeans now, like
beans.
And then the feathery cape with his big old man chest out, right? And so they're like, men wearing pink now, and I'm like, wait a minute. Did we forget about Cameron in 2003? Like, hold on. Like, this wasn't a long time ago. That my man's with the ooly gooly was out here. Was out here, in paid in full, shooting Mekhi Phifer in the head, wearing pink. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah. And like just the other day, I don't know how closely y'all follow like sports media, but I cannot think of that dude's name to save my life right now. But he was on ESPN in a pink suit, and of course they they made fun of him at the initial, but nobody cared. Ultimately, it was like, and it was actually a nice suit, but it wasn't like pink, like bubblegum. It was pink in a different way, but it was pink nonetheless. But
like salmon pink.
Yeah, but almost like a metallic. It doesn't sound cool. I know it doesn't, but I'll send you a picture.
Okay.
But the point that I'm making is this was like 2 days ago in 2023, and this dude was on ESPN talking about sports in a pink suit, and people, like I said, they joked about it at first, but they still respected him. I'm sure they still respected him as a person after. It's like, so the fact that this, and the fact that it was a photo shoot, which typically people get more, creative and outside the box in these things. They're not saying that. I'm trying to think what I'm saying. Like the person in the photo isn't saying that, this is, I believe in everything, that's on I believe in anything that you're seeing in the frame. Like that's just the photographer's vision. And that person just happens to be a famous person, and they're being used as a model, but it's not like it's not meant to be like, this is a representation of the person. I mean, some portraits you could say that's what that is, but if it's a magazine photo shoot, it's not. And I know people aren't looking that deeply, and they just see an image and they react, and that's fine. But I just think people should cool out on magazine like covers, because they're typically somebody that was probably thinking too hard about something to begin with, and it's just something odd most of the time, and I don't know. I just think people think too hard about these things. And just to go back to the black, just the men in dresses thing, and I do think that is a bit odd coincidence that all of these dudes in the same era too, like back in basically the 90s, basically, a lot of these dudes were wearing dresses. Tracy Morgan was another one. Not in the 90s, but in 30 Rock, I think.
30 Rock is 2000s,
yes. But still, I do think that is a bit like it's something there. I don't know what it is, but I guess my point is, it doesn't make me feel any less of a man. It doesn't affect me, I guess. So I guess I've never thought of it like this is a plot, I guess. Because when I see it, I'm like, I wouldn't do it, but I guess, just, I kind of don't think any less of the person, I guess. It's just like, I wouldn't do it, but it is what it is, I guess. But I don't know.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't believe. Well, let me get all my thoughts out first. I'll touch on Adam's point first. I don't necessarily think that there isn't a big plot, or I don't know if there's this big Hollywood conspiracy to always kind of keep black men looking subservient, or to lessen the dangerous feel of a black man and comedic senses by putting them in a dress and all of that. I don't necessarily know if that's a big thing, because there have been times where white men have also put on dresses and whatnot. But we also know white men fucked each other in Greece. So whole Grecian era is gay. And Roman. Fight me if you
only control the media. And generally speaking, they tend to control media, so that wouldn't be something that would be detrimental to their careers.
Right. And so I I'm not invested in that thing of like saying whether or not it is or isn't. I just know it ain't never stopped me from appreciating those Black men for their contributions to media, history, etc.
Yeah. If it was an actual conspiracy that's true, then it says a lot about like whoever is controlling it, that they think that we would care so much that will hurt us. Like,
yeah.
So,
and I guess that's and I guess that's what brings me so much confusion around it, because I'm like, I don't, like I said, would I do it? Probably not, but I don't look at these dudes any different. To me, they're all still legends in their craft, and it's like, it was just, to me, it's just, this is what people, I thought maybe this is what people thought was funny in the 90s. I don't know, but you don't see it as much today. But in the 90s, it was definitely common though. Like, it really was, for whatever reason. Even Miss Doubtfire, even though obviously that was white guy, but that was a classic. I would still watch that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is just like, well, part of it is people just projecting, like, because that's some shit that they would feel, less than if they, were wearing too much pink or whatever color their dress.
Well, honestly, my bad, Marco. Go ahead.
I was going to say, like, if it is a true conspiracy, like, this would be a distraction from the real. But if it's happening in other parts of media or whatever, and in life in general, then it probably would be a distraction to what's really going on. If it was true,
Yeah.
Possible. now, thanks to I don't know if necessarily matters to y'all, but so the stylist, I caught a video of his on TikTok for the Jonathan Major shoot. The stylist is an anime nerd, and so what he dressed him up as is his favorite villain from One Piece.
Okay.
And so I'm like, so you have a literal reference for what this dressing was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that changes it completely for me.
In an anime, so you're just making things up at this point.
Yeah,
yes,
and that's exactly what I was going to. Like, like photo shoots, they're not trying to. A lot of times, especially for a fashion shoot, they're not. It's typically never a message. It's just an artistic expression. If it's like an actual portrait of the person, then you want that person's personality to come out in the photo. But a fashion shoot is purely about what the person's wearing, and typically a magazine cover is a fashion shoot. So. And the fact that the stylist that brings so much light to the situation, and I was like, literally, the dude was just inspired by this thing. That's all it was. I mean,
literally.
So you have at that point, your argument is just, it wasn't. It's not going to hold up in court.
It's obsolete. It's this, the moment you add that tidbit of information, their argument is obsolete, man.
Yeah. Now, is it characters? Not makeup, but it's characters outfit pink in the thing too, or okay. See, now I was about to say maybe they changed the color,
yellow and pink or something like that. But like the character's name is Doflamingo. I've never watched One Piece. It's too goddamn long, and I don't have that kind of commitment to me right now. But yeah, like from what I've heard about the character, he's like a badass character. He's one of the most famous characters of the show, one of the most famous villains of the show. And I'm like, cool. Like that is motherfuckers are weird. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Y'all look for too many people are looking for shit to just be mad about.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's easy I think it's easy to take your thoughts too serious sometimes, man. Don't believe every fucking thing we think.
What's the conspiracies that have facts behind them, because anything else is actually called a association fallacy, that you are associating this stuff with something that's real, that to give validation to what you're talking about, and that's what I meant by being a distraction.
Yeah, it's easy to find evidence of things. When you already believe something, it's easy to go and find a bunch of sources that make you feel right. That's what a research paper is. You like, I think this. and you go find a bunch of sources that say that, and like, see, I was right.
That's true.
And all professors want to see is how well can you find sources that say what you're saying, and that's all. I think whoever analyzed this photo like this, I think that's all they were doing. Like, yep, this fits what I believe too. And they did a good job with the breakdown, but it's just inaccurate. Like, but that's not a good job. But you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we broke it down a little bit.
I don't know if anybody did that kind of breakdown. That was me talking about like previous arguments I've heard.
Well, no, they did though. It's like the post that I saw. It was like the magazine cover, and they had like a marker where they actually had notes and like they really was like, okay, let's do really.
I know Adam was saying is it that the art is about the the fashion in this
the expression
case.
Yeah.
But only the artists can honestly give us his intent, and the subjects in the art, I'm sure they had one of the final says.
Yeah,
because of their status. I mean, they obviously not going to let anything fly. So those two things are very important. Like,
that's true.
What the final say of what they want it to show, because it's them and the artist. He can tell us his intent, and only he knows in his mind or heart, whatever, however you want to say it. So,
yeah. And on that same token, I have a hard time believing that every dude out there that tried to make this argument and truly believed it wasn't just saying this shit because they were extremely jealous of their girlfriend frothing at the pussy at the same pictures in that shit of him with the roses and the boxers. Like in that same article, like man's pretty much got his dick out, and they and women are out here just looking like frappe. And
I don't know about that one.
I was like, yo, fam, I ain't seen that one.
I saw the. I be on the internet. I see shit, and I got homies that made fun of the picture too by also taking pictures of themselves holding roses like damn near naked. And so,
I'm not saying that you anything.
I don't care, man. That nigga fine. Like I ain't gay enough. Like, but I can objectively say that's a beautiful motherfucker. Like I don't care about that.
I would admit that I have seen it.
Well, you gotta say it too. So you can attest. Like, they want to come to me like, yo, what you trying to say? Yeah. Dog? Like, no, man, y'all see this motherfucker.
He's a good looking dude for sure. For sure.
Shit, I wish I looked like that. I've been working on these titties for years, and my titties still don't do that.
They ain't got the 6'4" bounce.
Yeah, on another note, I honestly don't understand any backlash from Rihanna's performance. Like, what do they expect from her, man? Like,
I mean, honestly, I kind of I didn't watch it actually, so I didn't know that she played. She played the Kanye joints, but like after that, I'm not surprised about the Kanye backlash. But anything else, I just don't understand.
Kanye himself was
no, he wasn't. Well,
no, that's what I'm saying. Like Kanye didn't perform. She did the chorus of All the Lights, and they're like, "How dare you do a Kanye song?" Like what?
Yeah, I'm like, that's one of her biggest songs. Also, like
exactly.
Like
she had 13 minutes. She had 13 minutes
when they were using like songs they had written or they had a little small part in as like the win, like. But it's not.
Yeah. Man, I got credits on this. I got paid for this.
Yeah,
had to get a W-9 for this.
I'm like, yo, do you really expect artists out here who had their shit written by R. Kelly to stop doing them songs if they were their biggest hits? No.
Yeah, that's true.
And I wouldn't blame Kelly for using that in the verses if he.
Yeah, me either. My man doing it, from that Jailhouse Rock,
Only verses he's concerned with is versus the state of Illinois.
God,
that's all I'm like,
don't it?
Yeah, sure. Kanye is volatile, but I'm like, I don't expect anybody if Jordan Sparks got a show, I don't expect her to not play no air.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't. I don't take that. Like, if you go out there and make sure that person's there to perform with you, that's different.
Yeah.
But she also did Jay-Z songs, and they were like, "Oh, and she ain't bring Jay-Z." I was like, "That nigga's with his kid in the audience."
Honestly, he might come out. He might. I thought it was a slight chance, but like, nah, he's.
Man,
how much money do you think the Super Bowl has? I mean, they have a lot, but how many millionaires y'all want?
Yeah. Honestly, bro, like
they actually don't get paid for those performances.
They don't get paid to do that show. Yeah.
I still don't know why, but yeah,
I can't. Hey, and she played. I think she did like a snippet of "Run This Town," and I would have preferred Ye come out and do his verse. He got the best verse on the song, in my opinion. Anyway, that's the only part of the song I actually want to hear.
That's real,
you know.
But yeah, I've seen Jay-Z. I've seen Jay-Z. I've seen Rihanna perform live once back in her Disturbia days because I went to the Glow in the Dark tour.
Oh, dope.
Speaking of Kanye. But Rihanna's never, to my experience, Rihanna's not really that great of a performer. So this was a decent show.
Yeah,
her dancers did the heavy lifting as they always.
I was about to say they killed it. To me, I was paying attention. Like they really killed that.
Now, my one gripe was the costume. I didn't particularly care for it.
For hers or
the dancer costumes.
Oh, okay.
Like the puffer jackets, and because I was like, I can't see nothing. Like, I get that the costume is contributing heavy to the choreography, so y'all using these jackets in this way. But I'm like, the ways that some of this choreography would be better suited if I could see their bodies a little better.
I see what you're saying.
That's just
I honestly got to rewatch it because I don't even remember. I remember her outfit, which is I thought was genius with her being pregnant.
Yeah. And which like all of it had to do with her pregnancy. If you're looking at it from like a conceptual point, like they're the nut and she was the egg at one point, and then she became like when they were all in red.
I gotta rewatch this. I gotta rewatch this. I gotta rewatch this.
Goddamn science project and shit.
Like the whole thing was like the song, the set list, as well as like the costuming and lighting, kind of gave itself to like the period, missing the period, the impregnation, and then when she did the last song with like the big thing, that was her tribute to the fashion dudes that died last year, and like showed her in her big state, like so showed like she was with life, and that was, you know, the belly was especially out. Like the whole thing was like a conceptual thing, and I was like, cool, I can see all of that, I can get that. But that's me being like choreographer, dancer person, be able to see that shit.
Yeah, that went right over my head. I got to rewatch this now. I just liked the red costume. I loved what she was wearing for, you know, given her situation. Not situation, but given her.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
State.
Yeah.
Giving her.
I'm trying to find a more attractive word.
Cool. We can wrap it up there, fellas. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us. Fellas, last thoughts.
Do what you want to do. Wear that pink if you want to.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Let your girl make the money if that's what y'all want.
Please.
Yeah. Yeah, if you got a bad bitch, if you got a bad bitch, you better keep her.
I would love a sugar mama. Hear that. If you listen out there, you got a sugar mama and she doesn't look like, you know, elbow skin, then hit me up.
Me too.
We could talk about because there was another conversation that kind of spurred off of that about what is leadership in I guess they were saying like a household or a relationship.
That's huge. Yeah.
And a lot of people put money like as the number one or the only
I
believe that
aspect of leadership.
Yeah.
So I think that's a conversation.
Throw that in the chat. We can definitely unpack that, like gender roles and what the financials, what the finances play as far as the leadership of the house or the dynamics that y'all establish, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
What is leadership, period, like in a household?
Yeah, I definitely think it's more than money. I mean, we ain't about to talk about it now, but that can't be the only. It's way more than that.
It can be.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can definitely unpack that. You know where to write us at informally-honest-podcast@gmail.com, informally honest everywhere. Don't worry about Twitter because we don't use that shit. And someday we will, but we don't right now. We may even have a Reddit someday
we actually do have a Reddit.
We do have a Reddit.
Yeah, I think it's just for me. I made it a while ago. I forgot about it, but yeah,
hit up the Reddit too. Didn't even know we had a Reddit.
Yeah. I just remember when you said it. Oh yeah, we did go.
Love and appreciate y'all. Everybody that you engage, everyone that you interact with, and everyone that you care about. We encourage, empower, and implore you to always be forthright, be vulnerable, and do your giddy goddamn best whenever you can, however you can, to whomever you can. Be honest. Be fucking honest. Peace.
So,
peace and much love to you.
Can't look in the eyes of my brother without shedding a tear for my brother. I really wanna try for my brother, 'cause I truly do feel for my brother.